Bitcoin long-term holders. We currently have over 16.6 million of them, but the truth is, a lot of them really aren't that, I don't want to say smart, but we usually refer to long-term holders potentially as smart money. Over 14 million of this long-term holder Bitcoin supply was not accumulated towards the market lows. That might seem shocking, but when I tell you only 0.32% of all Bitcoin supply that is accumulated at the lows is actually sold at the highs, it really hits home that smart money can't be quantified as easily as one metric. Because a lot of these, as we know, it's classified as just someone who's held Bitcoin for 155 days or more. That might be up for debate, but a lot of them are simply buying at the peaks and holding for, say, 6 months, becoming a long-term holder out of necessity by trying to hold back until break even or so. So I'm not going to say this idea was mine. I'm not going to say stole this idea, but took a hell of a lot of inspiration from Johan of the Bitcoin Layer. And actually, a great analyst called Nim initially created this metric looking at veteran and rookie holders. Now, how they were defined in this analysis was just looking at those accumulating beneath essentially the realized price and those that were accumulating above that. Now, the realized price, as we all know, the average accumulation price or cost basis of all Bitcoin on the network. And we can see, looking at something like an MV, RV, raw score, this isn't the Z score, that once we're beneath this realized price, beneath an MV/RV of 1, clearly if you can accumulate at these levels, you must have a little bit of insight, a little bit of experience, compared to those who are buying when this spikes massively to the upside. But I wanted to take this one step further. I didn't want to just look at accumulation. I wanted to see how smart money are actually accumulating and distributing their coins. And rather than just using the standard realized price, I looked at the paper that me and the Bitcoin magazine Pro Team published fairly recently. So I actually used a more filtered realized price, which excludes inscriptions, unspendables, dust, Coinbase transactions, etc., miner rewards. So what I did is use this exact quantile model. So it is just looking at the MVRV, but rather than just looking at the raw valuations, because again, I think this is a mistake a lot of people make, and it's clear if we just look at the actual Z score. People may look to sell when the Z score or the MVRV reaches X, Y, or Z valuation. Say I'm going to sell when it reaches 7. What you need to acknowledge is if we're looking like the 2017 cycle, for example, we were way down here at, say, like a 5, 6, etc., the end of November, early December. In 2 weeks, well, less than a week, we were at a value of 10. So yes, this spiked massively to the upside, but if you actually look at the proportion of data points within this series that are actually spent at these high valuations, it's incredibly low. So this almost quantile bands valuation method wasn't just looking at raw values, it's looking at how many data points were in each valuation. This upper band here indicates that less than 5% of data points reach values this high, which you may think is values of 6 or 7, but considering there's hundreds, thousands of data points, really we need to be looking at considerably lower prices. I mean, even in this most recent cycle, which was underwhelming, we can see this first breakthrough of $100,000, and then once we again broke through to $120,000, very low on the Z score, very low on the raw MVRV. But given the fact that we rarely spend much time up here, it actually told us that we were getting pretty overvalued. So again, I wanted to look at different bands rather than just rookies and veterans. What if we could distinguish them much more granularly? So here I actually separated it into 20 different acquisition bands. So the bottom 5%, then the next 5%, all the way up to the top 5%, etc. And what we can see is I'm covering a little bit, so I'll just zoom out. A vast majority of Bitcoin is accumulated at much higher prices. A vast majority is accumulated kind of in this top third of all Bitcoin price action, all data points in that upper third of that quantile model. Only 1.6% of all Bitcoin was accumulated in that bottom 5th percentile. Now, because the way that this actually worked and how I did this initial analysis, this is from 2013 onwards, and if we actually include those early days when Bitcoin was a few pennies or a few dollars, the numbers are warped a little bit. So 2013 onwards, it was very liquid. There was actually some exchanges where you could properly trade it. It wasn't all peer-to-peer. I think the data is a little bit cleaner. But I was pretty shocked at this. This middle grey area is just kind of the mid-average investor, this middle 50%, blue bottom 25%. But again, this just shows us accumulation. People may be DCAing all the time, putting it into wallets that they never move from, and that's going to add to the long-term holder supply, but it doesn't really tell us what smart money is if they're just blind dollar cost averaging in regardless of price. In my opinion, we need to kind of look towards the distribution behavior as well. So I took it one step further, and I made probably one of the coolest graphics I personally think we've created. And this is the matrix of accumulation or acquisition and distribution or disposal of different Bitcoin holders. Now, one thing I did have to do is actually tweak it a little bit, because 93.3% of all Bitcoin that is accumulated is essentially churn. It's accumulated and then immediately spent within the same cohort, the same valuation band. So if you buy the bottom 5th percentile, there's over a 93% chance you're actually distributing it or disposing of it in the same band. So that's this white line in the middle. Only 6.7% of all distribution that does happen is actually outside of this. And the average is just 2.5 bands. So if you accumulate in the bottom 5th percentile, we can see if we zoom in way on this matrix, there's a 60.7% chance that you distribute in that 5th to 10th percentile. Then there's a 7.3% chance in that 10th to 15%. It's very, very rare to sell at these upper levels. In fact, what we can see in this region up here, this truly is the definition of smart money, because they were accumulating in the bottom 1 to 3 accumulation bands and distributing in the top 3 bands. Now we can see of those that were buying in that bottom 1th percentile, and we can see that's only 1% of Bitcoin holders. 1.2% of them that did eventually distribute it, not in the same band, that wasn't churn, 1.2% managed to sell at the peak. That's almost nothing. If we actually expand it a little bit, look at the top 5. So something more like this. If you were able to buy in the bottom 5th bands and sell in the top 5th, there was only a 0.32% chance of you being able to do that. 0.32%. And we can also see twice as much supply is bought at the top and sold at the bottom. If we look at those that were buying in the top 5th percentile, which is down here, and selling in the absolute bottom, it is literally twice as high as those that were able to buy at the bottom and sell at the top. So this region down here is the definition of rookies. These are the ones who are buying the peaks and selling the bottoms, capitulating at the worst period of time. But what is also crazy is only 51% of all accumulation led to distribution at a higher price. Basically a coin flip of profitability from an asset that has gone from fractions of a penny to well over $100,000. Trading is very difficult. And the fact that we also see a very strong correlation between the rookie supply increasing alongside price again shows us that people are just FOMOing in. We see an inverse correlation between veterans. Those that are accumulating towards those lows are distributing at those highs. And we can see the raw valuations here. So rookies hold about 4.7 million Bitcoin, veterans 3.3. Now again, take into consideration this is using data from 2013 onwards. But what is interesting is, again, we see big peaks in this rookie accumulation as price is topping out. We see big peaks in this veteran accumulation as the Bitcoin price is bottoming out. But I wanted to take this one step further, because what we can notice is, of course, a lot of accumulation is happening at the lows just because price is low, but we really want to see when this is coming down, the supply held by veterans, when it's coming down at its steepest. When have they realized not only am I able to sell at a profit, but price is getting a little bit overheated? So the relative rate of change in the veteran and rookie supply probably gives us a better insight into the actual movement and behavior of rookies and veterans. So this blue line here, again, is the 28-day rate of change, the net flow in veterans. Now, when is their accumulation the most aggressive? The exact bottom. Pretty much the exact bottom. Interestingly enough, around $20,000 in the last bear cycle, the actual accumulation level when we hit the low at around $15,000, $16,000 was lower. at this first drop to $60,000. Okay, let's flip it. When are rookies accumulating most aggressively? We can see this is the top 25% of data points according to that MBRV, those quantile bands methodology. So there's a long period of time where we're in that upper band. This isn't an exact top picking metric. This gives us a hell of a lot of data points. 50% of all data is either in this top or bottom band. But we can see they're most aggressively accumulating these poor rookies at exact price action peaks, literally as hype is at its greatest, as people are at their most exuberantly bullish. That's when they buy. Pretty much the exact top every single time. Now, what can we do with this data? How can we learn to not trade like the over 14 million supply that isn't held by veterans? How can we be these accumulators? Again, we just need to focus on the data. We need to look and see, yeah, maybe we're not at the exact low, but we're not a million miles away. We're in this bottom 25th percentile. Now, again, this isn't using any look-back bias. This isn't historically changing these quantile bands. This is a rolling, so with every data point, this is updating. Could we go low? Of course we can. But only 0.32% are able to buy in the bottom 25% of price action and distribute in the top 25% of price action. And a hell of a lot more people are doing the exact opposite of that. So you just need to take the emotion out of it. You need to acknowledge that Bitcoin is going to do what Bitcoin does. Don't try to outsmart the market. Don't follow the hype. Be a contrarian and follow the data. Again, big shout out to Johan from the Bitcoin Layer and Nim of the Bitcoin Research Kit, because they do amazing work. And I'm hoping, again, along with the dynamic long-term holder classification work we've been doing at Bitcoin Magazine Pro, we can continue to make even better on-chain data and metrics. And recently, it was announced that I will be speaking at Bitcoin Asia. So if you can make Hong Kong in late August, then do come say hello, watch my presentations. It'll be a lot of fun. But again, as always, thank you all very much for watching. Let me know if you have any thoughts down below on splitting long-term holders into not just blind accumulators, but genuine smart money, and how we can try and better follow their accumulation and distribution and do the opposite of rookies. Do you think this is a viable solution? Are there any other metrics you'd like to see going forward? Like I said, let me know in the comments below, and on social media. I look forward to reading and replying to them. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.